Welcome back to another episode of Damien Ruins Horror Movies. I am Damien. I hope everybody is having an awesome shark week so far. I haven't seen the results of Mike Tyson fighting that shark. Did he win? I know the sharks don't have ears. It's a little bit of a disadvantage. I know, that's a hack joke. So, you'll notice I'm mixing things up a little bit this episode. No intro, we're just jumping right in. So, you can leave a note in the comments. Do you like it with the intro, or do you like it better without? Kind of the notes when I was a kid we would pass to people, mainly girls. Do you like me? Check a box. Yes. No. Don't give a shit. Feel free to do that. I'm gonna do a few things different in this video, but they're little things. Probably won't even notice. Shark Night. If you don't own it, Netflix has it. Tubi does not have it. However, if you go to Tubi and type in shark, you'll find a lot of other awesome shark horror movies. And if you get tired of watching shark horror movies, you can type in Bigfoot and you'll find a shitload of awesome Bigfoot horror movies. And by awesome, I mean not awesome, but fun. Some of them hilarious, some of them are really bad. I went on a binge I did a shark and Bigfoot binge last February, I think. And I watched a lot of shark and Bigfoot movies. I didn't review any of them. So I thought about it. I wanted to, because some of them were okay. And some were like, I wanted to at least like give you a guide of like, check these ones out, they're decent. Don't even bother, don't even start these ones. Maybe I still will. It's just I don't remember them well enough now. And I'm not rewatching those. So Shark Night is directed by David Ellis, who also directed Final Destination and Snakes on a Plane. I think Final Destination is pretty awesome. Snakes on a Plane, not so much. So the film opens with a couple. They're out in a lake. And the guy gets out and he goes to his trailer to change his clothes. The girl stays in, and then she gets attacked by a shark. Almost like the shark was waiting for the guy to leave so he could kill her. Whereas like, I got nothing with you, man. It's the girl. The girl's the one I have a problem with. So, as soon as the guy disappears, boom. Then the opening credits come. And then we hit our second opening, and it's like kind of a gamer party. And Malik, he's the jock character. He shows up at the little gamer party, and it's very little. There's like two people, Gordon and Nick. Nick is Brad in the movie Extract. I don't know if you guys watch that. It's not a horror movie, but I love it, which is ironic, kind of, because I always hated Beavis and Butthead when I was in high school. That show used to irritate the hell out of me. But everything else Mike Judge does, I love. Like Office Space, Extract. The concept of Idiocracy was cool. I'd have to watch that again because there were some funny parts, but I was like, this movie's a lot weirder than I thought it was going to be. But the cut and dried concept was great. It was brilliant. So Nick and Gordon. Gordon is played by the dude from Hatchet, whose name I forgot to look up, but he's in a few other things too. He kind of pops up every time you see him. You're like, oh, it's that guy. And they're having a little gamer party. So Malik walks in, and he's like, because Nick's his tutor. Plus, they're like friends, but Nick's his tutor. So he's like, I got a B plus on it's a final, a midterm, or it's some kind of test. I don't think they really specified. He's like, I got a B plus, man. We're celebrating. We're gonna go. My friend Sarah's got a lake house. Her parents have a lake house. We're gonna go. It's on Lake Crosby. It's gonna be awesome. We're all going. They're like, all right, cool. And Nick kind of has a little thing for Sarah, so he's like, all right. And Gordon's kind of like, oh, all right, I'm in. So they round everybody up. They've introduced the first three characters. They meet up with Blake and Beth. Beth and Blake are an item, I guess. I mean, sometimes they seem like they are, sometimes they don't seem like they are. And then Sarah, whose house it is, Sarah has a little thing for Nick. Nick's got a little thing for her. This is like a big weekend for Malik because he's got, that test was important for, I'm not sure what. It's not like because they're in college, so it's not like he's in high school and he passed some test and now he's getting a scholarship somewhere. I guess but he plays, I don't even know what sport he plays. Okay, but that's where I'm at. But he's also planning to propose to Maya, his girlfriend. They hit the road and they stop by a gas station, and outside is just Maya and Malik. And instead of meeting the harbinger that warns them not to go, they meet some redneck assholes who got to shoot some racial slurs. They see Malik helping Maya with her bag, putting her bag, adjusting stuff in the trunk of the car. They're like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. You let the help sit up front with you. And he's like, what the hell? This is one of those weird things where it's like, these are just two, like, dudes. And it looks like Malik could easily beat the hillbilly dog shit out of both of them at the same time if he wanted to, but instead he keeps his cool. But then Sarah comes walking out, and she's like, oh, hey, Dennis, because she knows him, because the dude's got a scar on his face. And she kind of diffuses the situation, and because Malik wants to fuck these guys up. But also, they're close to where they want to be, so it's like, hey, let's just go where we're gonna go. They get to the point where they can't just drive all the way to the lake house. They have to park, and then they get a speedboat, and they boat the rest of the way with Sarah driving, and she's cruising along, and all of a sudden you hear a siren, and they're like, oh shit, it's cops. Which I don't know what why they're really that worried, because they haven't done anything yet. It's not like they're partying. They're like, woo, yeah, we're having a party, yeah. And then the siren goes off, and they're like, oh shit, we're busted. They're not busted until Sarah starts deciding she's gonna lose the cop, and she starts speeding and she starts cruising. Everybody's like, what are you doing? We're not doing anything wrong. Let's just see what the cop wants. And she keeps going. The cop follows her, and finally she stops, and the cop catches her. And the cop comes out, and he's like, oh, Sarah, I see you still got it, because they're old friends and they used to race boats together or something. And the sheriff points out, wow, he's kind of telling the story for us. He's like, wow, I haven't seen you in 3 years. And then they get to the actual lake house. Gordon's kind of the odd man out because, Malik was with Maya. Blake is with Beth. And Sarah and Nick are kind of interested in each other. So Nick kind of asked the others about her, and they're kind of like, well, you know what? We've only known her for a couple years from school. And I don't know, she never really had a boyfriend. She has a dog that she hangs out with, and the dog is with them. Shout out to the dog, I totally forgot to mention him. And, we party with her. She's never hooked up at a party or anything. She just kind of keeps to herself. She seems cool. We don't know. She's kind of weird, kind of not. They don't really spend a lot of time at the lake house. They immediately go to the lake with the speedboat. Malik is water skiing. They're cruising around having a good old time, and Malik sees something, and it kind of freaks him out. Oh, but I should mention, Sarah is not on the boat with them. Sarah's back at the shore. So Malik sees something, and he kind of freaks out, and he lets go of the thing. And he's like, oh, shit. And what he sees is a shark. He's like, why is there a shark in this lake? And so he tries to escape, and they're like, oh man, we got to go get him. He lost his grip because nobody else saw the shark. So he starts swimming back, and the shark's after him. And then he gets back to the shore where Sarah is, and he gets out of the water, and he's missing his arm. And she's like, oh my God. And then the others get back there, and they're like, holy shit, what happened? And Blake's like, you hit him with the boat, Nick, because Nick was driving. Nick's like, no, I didn't. And they're like, well, you're a doctor, Nick, or you're in school to be a doctor, which if he's in school to be a doctor, what's he doing with these guys? They all go to the same school. Nobody else is being a doctor. I mean, I watched enough Grey's Anatomy to know that doctors are separated from everybody else and have to go through an internship. Or is that after they graduate? I don't know. But Nick takes off. He jumps in the water and starts swimming because he feels guilty. Well, he bandages what he can to salvage and stop the bleeding, and then he runs and jumps in the water, starts swimming, immediately finds Malik's arm, the rest of it, and then a shark, and he's like, oh shit. So he starts swimming. He escapes, gets back to the shore. I think they put his arm in a cooler with some ice. And now they're like, all right, we gotta take care of this. But he does mention to the others that it's a shark. He's like, I didn't hit him with the boat. There's a shark out there. And this is a saltwater lake. Dun, dun, dun! Sarah, Nick, and Maya take Malik and his arm back to the mainland. But along the way, they lose Maya. Maya falls out of the boat. They throw a float out to her, but it's too late. A shark gets her. And now Sarah is driving, and she gets to once again show off her killer boat driving skills that were foreshadowed earlier when her showdown with the sheriff. Which is kind of weird because, like, how smart do you guys assume these sharks are? That's like, I know, I'm gonna outrun this shark. And the shark's like, oh yeah? And there's a full-on race. For some reason, the controls lock up on the boat, so they all gotta, like, jump out and bail, and the boat just crashes, like, into the dock where there's 2 propane canisters sitting there, and ka-fucking-bang! But they managed to get Malik back to the house. Malik's going through a lot right now. And at this point, Beth is kind of pissed. Beth is kind of like, she kind of turns on Sarah, and she's like, you brought us here, and she's totally right to do so, but we'll get more into that in a little bit. And the 2 rednecks from the gas station, Dennis and Red, are creeping around, and they abduct Beth and Gordon. And inside, Malik wakes up, and Blake has to break it to him that Maya's dead. Did he have to break it to him, though? Because he didn't wake up and he's like, Maya, where's Maya? He wasn't asking about her. And the shape he's in, it's like, well, you know what? Malik might not make it. How about if he just dies not knowing? Why do I gotta, it's like, trying to get this guy to have a will to live. And he was about to propose to this girl. Now he's gonna find out she's dead. She's dead. Your, whatever sport you play as a career, even if we sew your fucking arm back on, that's gone. There's no way you're coming back from this. So, like, what does he have to live for at this point? It's like, we need him to have that spirit, that fighting spirit to, you know, he's going to kick this thing, this severed arm thing, he's going to kick it. By the way, your girlfriend's dead. So, yeah, that's kind of hopeless. That's a bummer. I would have just been like, oh, she just went to the bathroom. Oh, you just missed her. She said she's going to take a shower. She'll be back in a little bit. Oh, she's upstairs sleeping. You shouldn't walk up there, though, you know, with your arm missing. You know, that's a climb, getting up those stairs. Last thing we need is your heart beating any faster than it should. Sarah and Nick have a little heart-to-heart. And he asked her why she left this place in the first place. So she tells him a little story about how when she was younger, all these girls wanted to take diving classes. Not that much younger, she's only in college. She was a teen. 3 years ago, all the girls in town wanted to take diving classes because the instructor was so cute. She ended up being the girl that got the guy. She got the instructor. The instructor is old Scarface, Dennis from the gas station, who currently has abducted 2 of her friends. But with college coming around, she didn't really see, he didn't want to leave. He's a small town boy. He wanted to stay local and give diving lessons or whatever. He didn't want to go, but he didn't want her to go either. And she was like, well, we're going to have to break up because I'm going. And he's like, well, no, you're not. And she's like, yes, I am. And then they went diving, and he set her up with not enough oxygen. He's basically trying to kill her. And somehow she got her way back up. And there was a scuffle. She, like, hit him with the boat, and, like, the rudder smacked him in the face, hence the scar on his face. It's her fault. She did it to him. Although, I mean, you know, fuck you. He tried to kill her. What do you think's going to happen? Other than her dying. She didn't die. What do you think is going to happen? Somebody's getting fucked up in that situation. But she bailed before he fully recovered. So he goes to the hospital, she packs her shit, and then she leaves. Off to college to start a new life. So old one-arm Malik is pissed. Or desperate, confused, full of rage, frustrated. I don't know. But he needs some kind of closure. He needs revenge. So he runs to the water. He's going to kill that shark. He's going to get his revenge. Because at this point, they don't know there's more than one shark. Spoiler alert, there's more than one shark. And elsewhere, Gordon and Beth are about to be the 2 newest contestants on Shark Hunter with Dennis and Red. And we find out it was Dennis and Red that put the sharks in the lake in the first place. Malik actually kills the shark. And he brings it back. And Nick sees it. And he's like, dude, instead of being like, holy shit, how'd you kill that shark? That's crazy. You only have one arm. You shouldn't be in water because you bleed more when you're in water. But somehow you went in the water and you actually killed this shark. Instead, he's like, that's not the shark I saw. Letting them know there's more than one shark. And this shark has a camera like sticking out of it. It's like recording everything that's going on in the water, you know, because it's part of that shark hunter. I guess I don't need to be like cryptic about that. It's got a camera in it because I don't know how many sharks are out there, and I don't know how many have cameras, and I don't know where the guy's got enough money that they can just, oh wait, actually I do. There's sharks out there with cameras filming if they kill or if their friends kill or whatever. So Malik feels, I don't know, a little bit better. Got a little bit of that out of him. You know, he got a little bit of revenge, even though it's like, well, cool, only 300 more sharks to kill. And Blake tells him, it's like, all right, we gotta get you out of here. You need to get to a hospital or you're gonna die. Or it's gonna be too late to put your arm back on. We gotta go. And there's a jet ski because the boat's blowing up. So they hop on the jet ski and Blake starts driving him to the main. Do you drive boats? Yeah, you drive them. Do you fly boats? So he starts taking them to the mainland, and they're chugging along, and all of a sudden a big shark starts following them. Emily's like, I'm just slowing us down. And Blake's like, what? It's like, that shark's gonna get us. And I think Malik at this point is kind of accepted, like, he doesn't really have much. The fight to live that he's going to have to go through, to him, the end goal is just not worth it. And he could save his friend, you know, Blake, who's driving the jet ski, if he just offs himself. So he just bails and drops off the jet ski, and the shark gets him, and Blake's like, "What? No!" And instead of Blake being a decent person and being like, well, shit, he just died for me. I better step on it. Now I got some extra cash. Now I got a little boost to my jet ski. He kind of slows down, like, I'm gonna save you. It's like, no, dude, you need to just go. Don't look back, just go. That's what the guy did for you. And so he lingers around, and this big shark just jumps up and eats his head. Back on the set of Shark Hunter, Gordon sees his chance and he escapes. He bails. And it's funny because he's been, up until this point, he's been kind of like, oh, hey Beth, how's it going? Like, he's trying to make a move. It's not like him and Blake are all that close. But now that he's in deep shit, and it's a smart move. Gordon does the right thing. Gordon's like, I don't have a chance with you, so when the opportunity comes, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And if that means leaving you behind, I don't even know you. And the opportunity comes, and Gordon bails. He is gone. He does not look back. He hides. They don't bother chasing him. Gordon's home free. Beth, on the other hand, is screwed, and these guys are like, well, so they make her strip down to her bra and panties, and you think that's because they're gonna do some pervy shit, but then they have this cage. And they're like, get in the cage. And she's like, she doesn't want it, but she does, and they submerge the cage in the water, and in the water. Well, actually, before that, they start going off about sharks. Like, did you know there's 355 species of shark? And yesterday, we only knew about 45 of them. And as of today, we know about 46. And they turn into this Bubba Gump shit where it's like, there's pork shark, French fried shark, Kung Pao shark, going on and on. And she's like, okay, I don't give a shit. It's like, yeah, and we brought these sharks here, and we've been breeding them, and we're just learning more and more about sharks. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. What's this got to do with me? And then she puts them in the water, and there's all these little baby shark do baby shark do, and they fucking kill her. And had this not been a PG-13 movie, that might have been a gruesome scene, but it's not. I just realized I didn't even show off my shark socks. I got the tank top. The socks! No, they did not come as a set. I had to buy them individually. So back at the lake house, Sheriff Stevens shows up. And the only two left there are Sarah and Nick and the dog. Sarah, there is kind of a point where in this movie, Malik is kind of the main character, but as soon as like he shows up on the shore with his arm gone, and he locks eyes with Sarah, it's almost like the transition where it's like, okay, you're not the main character anymore. Now Sarah is, because the whole storyline is kind of about Sarah. It's just we had to get there. It's like in Psycho how the story starts out. The first half is about Marion Crane. Her name's Marion, right? Yeah. The first half is about her, and then we have this point where her and Norman Bates meet each other, and then he kills her, and now it's not about her anymore. Now it's about Norman. That's what happened in this movie, except Malik didn't kill, obviously. Obviously, they didn't kill each other. And so the sheriff comes. He's like, oh, what's going on here? And blah, blah, blah. And then, like, Nick mysteriously passes out. And they're both like, oh, my God, what's wrong with Nick? That's where we better get him to the couch and have him lay down. He's not feeling good. He's probably should. Well, from what you've told me, it sounds like you guys have had a hell of a day. So she's like, yeah, I think she's got a drink. She's like, if you want a drink, go ahead. There's stuff over there. Go ahead and make yourself a drink. I'm just trying to take all this in, what's been going on. So he's like, okay, don't mind if I do. And he goes over, and she goes in the kitchen, and her dog is, laying there like he's dead. And then like his CB starts going off because he has to go through Sheriff Stevens has to go through the kitchen to get to, like, I don't know, the doors in the kitchen. So he left a bunch of his shit there, and the CBD goes off, and she hears the voice. It's old Dennis on the other side saying, hey, we made margaritas out of this, girl. Are you coming down? Are you going to bring the others down here or what? And then she's like, oh, shit. Dun, dun, dun. Dennis is in on this. So she's like, all right. He's in on it, which is got to be kind of hard because she's known. I mean, it was illustrated to us earlier that they have a past. They know each other. Not a past like they dated or anything. He's older. But like they know each other, and she's kind of like, well, so she armed herself with a butcher knife, and she starts walking out there, and she's getting ready. She's got it hidden, and she's like, all right, I'm just gonna stab this motherfucker and get the hell out of here. But before she can, Dennis in the house, and he takes the knife from her. He's like, ha. And then she kind of makes a break for it, and he pulls out his little like tranquilizer gun and shoots her. When she awakens, she's in a cage with Dennis in red. And Nick is just tied to a chair that's tied to like a remote cable. And he is with Sheriff Stevens in a different spot. Not far away, but in a different spot. So there's this going on here and this going on here. And why there's two spots, I don't know. But he's above like a trap door. Not really. It's just like a cutout that I'm going to dump you into this little shark tank and you're going to get eaten. So Dennis is like still bitter about his face. He's rehashing the past with Sarah. And Sarah's like, yeah, I don't give a shit. And the sheriff explains to Nick. He's like, why are you doing this to us? We haven't done anything to you. We don't understand. I thought you were friends with her. What? He's trying to frantically think of a way to get himself out of this. And sheriff's like, you know what draws the biggest ratings on TV? Shark Week. And when people get killed, those numbers go through the roof. And then it ties in the couple at the beginning, the woman. I don't know if they both got killed. I know the woman did because it happened on screen. That's the same lake. They were responsible for that. They were filming that. They turned it in. They made a lot of money off that. Probably some black web shit where you film stuff and people pay to see it. Like that movie 14 cameras and 13 cameras where it's like, oh, I'm just going to upload this and people pay to watch it because people want to watch and people die. So the only solution is, well, that worked out pretty good. We need to make some more episodes. And that's what they're in the process of doing now to Sarah and her friends. Nick is tied up and helpless, but for some reason, because they do a pretty good job of foreshadowing this movie. So you'd think they would have a scene where they show Nick smoking, because that would explain why he has a lighter on him. Because for some reason, there's spilled gasoline over by Sheriff Stevens. And Nick like pulls out, and not just a lighter, it's a Zippo. It's like, why do you have a Zippo? Pulls out a Zippo, flicks it, and starts burning his whatever his hands are bound with until he's free. And then he just huffs the Zippo towards Sheriff Stevens and the gasoline, and it's just Sheriff Stevens goes up in flames. And he panics so much that he's like, oh shit, and he runs and he jumps into the water that he was going to drop Nick into, and he gets eaten by his own shark or his buddy's shark or whatever. It was like, dude, have you ever heard the phrase stop, drop, and roll? Fucking bitch. So now Nick is free. And this is another situation where, hey, if you're free in this movie, go. Bail. Fuck loyalty. Instead, he goes and finds Sarah. Because he's got to save her. Because he's interested in her. He is smart enough. Somehow he got Sheriff's gun. Did Sheriff leave it on the counter? I don't remember. Because you would think that Sheriff's gun would be in the water with his corpse. But he got the Sheriff's gun. So that was smart. So he gets the gun. He finds where Sarah and Dennis are. And Red. And he grabs Red and gets him. He's like, all right, let her go or I'm going to shoot this guy. And Dennis is like, huh? And Dennis grabs a knife and just huffs it right into Red's body. Not even like accidentally. He was like, I don't give a fuck about Red. Now what are you going to do? And I'm not sure. Maybe he bum rushed him too soon. Because like, all right, well, now I'm going to shoot you. Like, I don't know why Nick... Maybe he wasn't planning to kill anybody, but it's like, okay, I got your friend, I got the gun. I'm going to shoot you. And then I'm going to shoot this guy, and then I'm going to free her, and then we're done. But instead, because he should have been like, I grab you, boom. Boom. Let's go, Sarah. Boom, shoot the cage open, go. Instead, Dennis charges him, and they kind of fight back and forth, and Nick puts up a pretty good fight for being kind of the nerdy, like, I'm going to be a doctor someday. And he like shoves him off the boat. So he's like, all right, I gotta go save Sarah. Because Sarah's still hanging in the cage above the water. But Dennis like swims over and climbs up and hits the release button. So she's in the water. And so Nick's like, oh shit, I gotta save her. And then he jumps in the water. They're all three in the water. She's in the cage. Dennis is on one side. They're kind of fighting him off. He's like, I want her to get eaten by sharks. But because I'm pissed. Because she left me for college. And a chance at a better life. And at this point, I'm wondering, does Nick have some sort of like shark repellent spray that he puts on? Because he's been in the water like 10 times. And nary a flesh wound has come his way from being around these sharks that like to kill and eat people. He's just like, oh, I'm going to go in the water again. Oh, I had a close call. I had another close call. Nothing's ever happened. Everybody else, they're just dead immediately. Except Gordon. Where the fuck did Gordon go? He's just gone. It's like he just ran and just kept running. So the same shark sees Sarah and wants to eat her, but it doesn't register that she's in a cage. Which is weird because she has like this cutout where it's like it's bars and then there's a cutout. But the way her head, like I'm pretty sure if you're a fairly petite girl or a fairly petite person, if you have an opening that your head can fit through, especially a long one, like if you can turn your head sideways and get through, you probably get the rest of your body out too. She didn't even try. She's just like, help, help. And finally the shark just like crashes into it and breaks it. And so she's free. Then Dennis and Nick get in their final underwater fight as Nick is trying to save her, and she's free. And that same shark turns and it's like, I can't tell who my owner is and who dinner is. So he's like, fuck it, I'll flip a coin. And Dennis gets killed by his own shark, and he deserves it. I don't know what order happened. Nick and Sarah go up to the shore, and they look and they see Sarah's dog. He comes, and they get their happy little ending. The end. The Gilligan Award goes to Sarah. Because first of all, the obvious. She left this place 3 years ago on bad terms and then rounds up her friends together. It's like, I know a place we can go. My parents' lake house. And we can go swim in the water. Granted, she probably didn't know about the sharks. The shark thing probably hadn't happened yet. But she gives no indication that there's any kind of danger there. It's like, oh, we'll just go there and everything will be cool. We can swim and drive boats and party, and you know, yeah. So my Scarface boyfriend's still there that I ditched while he was in the hospital, and he hasn't heard from me in 3 years. Who actually, looking back, didn't seem that like surprised to see her at the gas station. If I were to give out 2 Gilligan Awards in one movie, this would be it, because the other one would go to Nick. Because what the hell, Nick? How many red flags do you need before you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to walk away from this. I mean, she's a bad breaker-upper. She has terrible judgment. She doesn't give a heads up to anything that's going on, and now all your friends are dead. And it wouldn't be so bad if it was like dumb look. You're supposed to be the smart one. You're going to be a doctor. This movie kind of, it's not really that scary. It could have been. If it wasn't PG-13, I think it would have been scary. Put some scary music in there. It's more like, and I think a lot of horror movies could be called this. I mean, it should have been called, That Would Suck If This Happened. Because most horror movies could be called that. That Would Suck If That Happened, part 2014. Or, this movie actually should have been called, Fuck Sarah. What did we learn? Survival tips. If you're in a lake and you see a shark, just get the fuck out of there. Google any questions later. Girls can be douchebags too. Just because a girl is hot and you want to fuck her does not mean that she's not a douchebag. Fill your car up with gas before you leave town, or at least while you're still within the city limits. Any city. I was going to say this at the beginning and I totally forgot. If you liked this video, hit like and subscribe, and go check out the older videos too. Come visit me on Facebook. The link is underneath in the description notes. The website is still up, but I'm still thinking about getting rid of it. I'm just trying to figure out how. Squarespace makes it very difficult for you to stop giving them money every month. And Patreon, don't bother, because I don't understand Patreon. I shouldn't even have the link on there. I'm just too lazy to get rid of it. Because I don't want to have to find it again. Some links are a bitch to find. All right, other than that, you guys take care of yourselves. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next Wednesday.